the kids came up and were watching this oatmeal cook. They were a little bit weirded out with how quickly it cooks because I always buy the large flake oats, and last time I bought groceries I somehow accidentally got quick oats instead of large flake, so they just cook so crazy fast. Elijah's behind me saying this is so unnatural when things cook this fast. Yeah, but we're not going to waste food. We're going to eat it. So there's our bowl of oatmeal, or our pot of oatmeal, I should say.
This isn't healthy, 7-pack oatmeal. No,
It's not as...
It's not like
yeah, it is more healthy than like instant packets. Yeah. It is also Saturday today, so it is just about 9 o'clock, having a bit of a later breakfast on the weekends. Good morning, friends. The kids are just finishing up their bowls of oatmeal. I know I just showed you a boring pot full of oatmeal, but the kids typically will add peanut butter. Peanut butter is a favorite to add to their oatmeal, or fruit, raisins, cinnamon, Wesley's saying.
Sugar
yes.
or honey.
Sugar or honey, absolutely. So lots of things they add to their oatmeal. Like I said, it is Saturday. Andrew took off this morning to he signed up for this like farming, I keep calling it a farming conference. It's not really a conference, but
That's what Dad said.
Dad called it that too. Yeah, some sort of one-day little workshop he's going to. So he is out for the day. It's just the kids and I on this Saturday, and I am going to make myself some breakfast. I do often have oatmeal with the family. I've just been thinking these past few days, I think I want to start going back to 1 meal a day, low carb. I'm not going no carb. I know carbs are necessary, and there are a lot of good healthy carbs I try to incorporate into my diet. But for my breakfast today, I'm going to just do my typical smoothie, which I often do for breakfast. Sorry, I'm looking at the kids because I asked them to please be quiet as I film. They are being quiet, but they're like goofing off, rolling honey on the table, rolling the jar of honey and tipping over the jar of cinnamon, and it's very distracting. Anyway, I'm going to make my smoothie and I'll show you what I put in it. I just put all the ingredients into my Vitamix here, and I left everything out so I could show you what's in it. So first of all, I do unsweetened almond milk. I put some cottage cheese. And cottage cheese might sound funny to put in your smoothie, but it makes your what am I saying? It makes your smoothie so nice and creamy, and also adds a good bit of protein. I did put some frozen berries in here too, strawberries, raspberries, blackberries, blueberries. I just have a mix in the freezer. And then I add a scoop of protein powder. Now, this is not the actual, the protein powder that's in here is not what the label says. So I buy a big, like 5-pound tub of the protein powder I use. I'll put a picture in here. I am done the tub now. This is the last bit of it. I need to buy more. But the brand is Allmax ISO Clean, or something like that. You'll see the picture, but it's just an unflavored, unsweetened whey protein powder. Then I put a scoopful of this creatine. Again, it's unsweetened, unflavored, all that. The only thing that really adds flavor to my smoothie is the berries. And then I also add a scoop of this collagen. I get this big bag from Costco. So that is what is in my smoothie. My home is alive and loud, but you might have seen in that last clip I did add a little bit of water. So sometimes just as I am pouring my smoothie, it's just a little bit thick. So I just added a little bit of water. As it was mixing, there's enough here to probably have, oh, it's about to drip, just about a second cup too. Just pouring some cream into my cup here, and then fresh pot of coffee. Thank you, Andrew. He often makes coffee before he goes to work, but he starts work so early in the morning. So most days he makes coffee, and then by the time I'm having my coffee at 9 or 9:30, I already have to reheat it. Not today, fresh and hot. I'm gonna do a bit of just food prep today, just kind of getting ready for this next week. So first I'm gonna boil some eggs. I got out my big pot so I can boil a lot of eggs. I will eat boiled eggs every day. I really enjoy them. Andrew also takes them to work most days. He just takes along some salt and pepper, 2 or 3 boiled eggs for a little snack. So I've got 10. I think that's good for now. Just letting these boiled eggs soak in some cold water now. Only one of the eggs burst. Which one is it? I think it's this one. Nope. This one. Why does that happen? I'm going to be making some pizza for dinner tonight, so I need to make my sourdough crust. Just gonna get that started right now. I'm getting it started later than I should because it's supposed to sit for about 8 hours and it's already about 11 o'clock, so it's not gonna get quite as much time as it should. So my starter's in there. I need to add flour, water, salt, and olive oil.
I mean, even if we just start at 7,
yeah,
that, it's not really bad because we eat pizza really fast.
Then I use my dough hook to get this mixed. I let this mix for quite a while. I don't know, I didn't count it, how many minutes, but you want your dough to be nice and stretchy. So what they say typically when you're making a dough like this is to do the window pane test. So you're supposed to be able to spread it out so much that you can see through it before it starts to break. You can see mine, it starts to break. I can get it pretty thin, you know, pretty thin there, and then it starts to break. So I probably could mix it for a few more minutes. I don't know if it's because my KitchenAid is getting older, but I can just tell by the sound of it mixing that it starts to have a hard time, and I can just feel how hot it is after I've mixed it for a few minutes. So this is typically how long I mix mine. Maybe I already showed you guys enough of this window pane test, but doing it with one hand isn't as good. I feel like I have to show you with 2. You can tell that the, you know, natural yeast in the sourdough is working. It's nice and stretchy. Look at that. I would say that just about does pass the window pane test. It's kind of a funny thing because it's like, it's never quite see-through. It's starting to break over there, but there we go. Okay. I'm just gonna put a little bit of oil here at the bottom of my bowl and use my dough to just roll around in it so that it doesn't stick to the bowl. And then I have 2 of these. They're like plastic on the inside. So pretty. My sister got them for me a couple years ago and I use them almost daily. Just a really nice cover for my bowl, and that will sit until time for dinner prep. These eggs all peeled very well. There's the like half egg because of all that came out of the shell as it was boiling, but these are just gonna go into the fridge in these single serve portions, just ready to grab. I just baked this loaf of sourdough. Saturdays are super nice. It feels like a break for me because we always end up eating breakfast a bit late. And so I typically don't make a lunch for the family when people are hungry. The kids are all old enough now, they can just grab what they want for lunch. Sometimes it's just like crackers and cheese. I do have some dinner rolls that I made yesterday that are sitting on the counter. If someone wants to do a ham and cheese sandwich, everyone can just kind of grab what they want. And it feels like such a big break for me when I have to make 2 meals in a day instead of 3. It seems like just a small difference, but it makes a big difference in my day. So it is currently 1:15. No one has grabbed anything to eat yet that I know of, but I have some leftovers. I'm just gonna warm up for myself to eat. I thought, I'm not that hungry, I'll just have a small plate full. So there it is, but it should have gone on a big plate because I'm afraid as soon as I start eating, everything is going to just overflow and make a mess. But I had some leftover ingredients for taco salad, so I've got a bed of lettuce here, some leftover taco meat, tomatoes, onions, cheese, and topped it with salsa and sour cream. I wasn't really planning on I want to have a low carb lunch again, but here we go. This is a very low carb lunch as well. Lots of protein and veggies. I'm just in the middle of eating my lunch here, but I figured while I am eating, oh no. Okay, hold on. You're gonna have to just scrub the floor. Yeah, you have to be careful when something is liquid like that. You'll need a towel, not a cloth. Use that towel. This seems to always happen. I mop the floor on Saturday mornings, so usually there's a sticky spill on Saturday afternoons. It just seems to always happen. I figured since I was in the kitchen, I may as well just get something else done too. So I am making a veggie dip that we'll have with our veggies and pizza tonight. It's like a mayonnaise and sour cream mixture, garlic powder, parsley, salt, dill, onion powder. It's a really good dip. Sometimes we'll have it with chips as well. Super quick and easy to throw together. Not too much. Honestly, all you're doing is putting chicken broth in with the potatoes so that, yeah, that's plenty because you don't want it to stick to the pan. Some more leftovers for lunch. It doesn't look as good as it will taste, but it's just potatoes, onions, bacon, and cheese. And salt and pepper. I did this in the slow cooker a couple nights ago and it's so good. Those are all the ingredients. It's so easy. And then we do sour cream on top and it's almost just like a baked potato. I just finished my lunch, did some lunch cleanup. Hopefully there's no food in my teeth. The kids did come, not all of them, a couple of them never came and had any lunch, so eventually they'll get hungry and figure something out, a step in independence. But a couple of the kids had just bread and butter. Yep, just bread and butter. They make food for themselves and they're like we have so many options. I just did groceries. We have a ton of options for food, but when it's up to them to make something, it's the quickest and easiest thing. So that's what they had. And I typically set a little bit of a time limit for myself on Saturdays because if I don't, I could just work all day. There are endless things I could be cleaning, laundry I could be doing, but I don't like to make my Saturday always just a full day of work. If it's a home day, which is today, we're really just home for the day. So I usually set a time limit for myself, 1 o'clock or 2 o'clock. I'm done all of my cleaning and my tasks. Now it's time just to sit and relax. And sometimes I'll go for a walk, I'll sit and read a book, I'll sit and watch a show. And so this afternoon, I just poured myself, try not to spill it as I bring it up here into the frame, a coffee. Just having a small coffee here this afternoon. And I'm going to bring the laptop upstairs and watch an episode of The Amazing Race. The kids also do all their chores and then they have screen time. So that's what they're mostly doing in here. Screen time, they're playing a game on the PlayStation. And if they need anything, they can come find me, but I'm gonna have a little quiet time in my bedroom. Charity, would you come put away this butter? Who last had the peanut butter out?
Me.
Was that you, Wes? Okay, put the peanut butter away. I think everybody had a banana with peanut butter this afternoon for snack. That is a favorite snack around here. I love it too. Banana with peanut butter. It's not your favorite, but you just like it. Every day or every Saturday when the kids are done their chores, they get a couple of candies. And so this is the candy we have right now. I am not going to try to say that these are healthy candies, but as far as candies go, they are pretty good. They have natural flavor, natural color, and these original ones are so good. A few years back, the Real Fruit brand switched to a different recipe where like the texture is just not nearly as good. So for a few years I stopped buying them because the texture was just not great. Then I realized that they sell the original one. They still sell all the different kinds. Anyways, the original fruit is the best. The texture, so good. And so this is like Andrew's weakness. Wesley was home last night with Andrew and had a movie night, right, Wes? And this morning he's like, guess what? Dad and I went to the store. Why can I not open this one-handed? He's like, Dad and I went to the store and bought real fruit. I was like, you did? You had 7 last night? Can you open it for me? I cannot open it with one hand.
I can't.
Anyway, I looked in Dad's, in Andrew's end table, and there they were. So everyone's having some. Can you not open it either? If I had 2 hands, I would definitely be able to, but okay. Anyway, all that to say, we're having some of these today. Part of our food for the day. Thank you. Somebody can open it. It is time to start the pizza. So I'm just going to flour my surface. This recipe, just a single recipe, makes 4 pizzas. So I'm just gonna dump out my dough. Oh, that's looking nice and fluffy. And I want it to be 4 equal parts, or close to equal. I actually, you'll see, the one pan I use is smaller than the others. So I'm actually going to do this into one bigger piece, one smaller. Because if I don't, then I end up having like a thick crust pizza and a thin crust pizza. This is the mozzarella cheese I use. I get this from Costco. This brand, Salerno. It's really good. We really enjoy this mozzarella. It's a huge 2.2 kilogram block. So one of the kids is gonna start grating that cheese while I start rolling out the first pizza crust here. I've got a couple of pans ready. So I have a pizza stone, I have a pizza pan, and then I also use my 2, let's make this into a nice ball so it will roll into a nice round circle. And then I use my 2 cast iron pans. I like to go pretty close to the edge with my tomato sauce, kind of leave as little crust as possible on the sides. And I do go pretty light with the sauce too, otherwise it just gets so sloppy to eat. Simeon is doing a great job grating all this cheese. So what I do with pizza, I just have found this to work well. I do a light layer of mozzarella cheese, and then I add my toppings, and then I do a second layer of cheese on top of that. Usually, I do some pepperoni pizzas and some Hawaiian, because Hawaiian is just a favorite here, but I didn't get any pineapple last time. Well, when I went to the grocery store here, they didn't have any pineapple. So I'm just gonna keep it really simple. We're gonna do pepperoni on all the pizzas. Wesley's asking to help me. So Wesley, you can come put, yes, Mom? You can come put pepperoni on all the pizzas, okay? The pepperoni's in the fridge. One more layer of cheese here, and then these 2 pizzas will be ready to go into the oven. And we'll start on the last 2 pizzas. Hey, Wes? How do you like helping Mom in the kitchen?
I do.
Okay, hold on. You can't lick your fingers while you're helping me, although I guess you're done for the time being.
Yeah.
Do these look like they're gonna be delicious pizzas?
Seem yummy.
They do seem yummy, don't they? All right, we just wanna make sure that there's not really any sauce showing, because why have sauce showing when you could have it covered with cheese, am I right? The first 2 pizzas are in the oven, and I am drinking my, I guess my 3rd now, and last coffee of the day, as I get the other pizzas prepped. Still working on grating the rest of the cheese here, and then we just need to get some raw veggies ready as well. 4 minutes left on those 2 pizzas, and then our last 2, this is the one I was telling you about. It's a pretty small one, just in the small cast iron pan. And then last pizza in the big cast iron pan. I try to keep all the cheese from being against the edges, or it just kind of burns against the edge. The kids convinced me that they really want one pizza that's just cheese with no pepperonis on it. So this is just gonna be a cheese pizza, and then we'll have 3 pepperonis. We're gonna start with these 2 that are all sliced. The other ones are just about done in the oven. Everyone's hungry. We've got carrots, peppers, sugar snap peas, and cucumbers with that dip I made earlier. Ending my evening as I usually do, feeding my sourdough. I feed it in the evening so that it will be active and bubbly the next morning, meaning that it will be ready for me to start baking some more bread. And then washing those dishes I used so that I have a nice clean kitchen for the night. And now I'm gonna sit down and relax for the rest of the evening. I've got this, sorry it's really dark in here, I didn't turn on many kitchen lights, cranberry ginger ale sparkling water. Thanks for watching today. I really appreciate you guys watching and supporting me. See you next time.